right, Mr. White, who's this?
Mr. Gresham, Reginald Gresham.
All right, Mr. Gresham is a petition. 1 second. Mr. Gresham, raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true.
Yes.
All right, you can put your hand down. You're before the court on State of Georgia versus Reginald Orlando Gresham, 2021 CR 05358. You were before this court for battery family violence, simple battery family violence on the 9th day of February 2023. You were sentenced to 12 months probation. You have 1 month and 5 days remaining. This was not told. You failed to avoid injurious and vicious habits. You tested positive for marijuana on November 15th of 2023, and you failed to comply with counseling. You failed to document proof of completing family violence intervention program. You documented 17 of 24 classes as of November 13th. Tell me what's going on, sir.
As far as the family violence class,
How far did you get? Did you do more than the 17?
I did 24 altogether.
Okay.
It wasn't consecutive, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, Mr. White.
Your Honor, Mr. Gresham does wish to stipulate to the facts and accept probation's recommendation. However, he was worried about one of the recommendations was for him to finish the family violence intervention course, but he was worried the number of days he's missed that he may have to restart, and since he only has a month left, that he may not be able to finish it out.
Right. Yeah. I don't control the classes. I can put in the order that he shouldn't be he shouldn't have to restart. He should be able to pick it up from where he ended. Because he did a substantial amount of them. And he doesn't have time to restart.
Yes,
all right. So I'll do that. I'll put it in my recommendation or in my order. All right. What's the recommendation from probation?
Your Honor, the defendant has been in custody now 7 days. Credit for time served, return back to probation, and to see if he can continue on with the family violence classes until the case expires.
He just said the recommendation.
All right. So I have defendant shall receive credit for time served for 7 days and return to probation. Defendant shall complete FVIP without starting over and any other conditions.
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right. All right. So, Mr. Gresham, let's lay off the stuff we know we're not supposed to have, okay?
Sorry, Your Honor, he was muted.
Oh,
Just repeat yourself.
I said yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and finish strong. All right. Are you Mr. Hambrick?
Yes, ma'am.
Raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can put your hand down. Mr. Hambrick, you're before the court on State of Georgia. I lost my map. All right, on State of Georgia versus Dewan Hambrick, 2023 CR 05209, and also 2023 CR 10792. You're represented by Mr. White on both those cases. Mr. White, you've indicated that he wishes to enter a plea of guilty on criminal trespass in the case ending in 05209. And is it guilty on to count 1 on case ending in 10792?
As well as count 3, Your Honor.
Okay.
Count 2, the merge.
All right, and by entering these pleas of guilty to counts 1 and 3 on the case ending in 10792, you give up the right to have a trial by jury or judge. You give up the right to have the presumption of innocence in your favor. You give up the right to confront witnesses. subpoena witnesses, present testimony and evidence on your behalf. Do you understand all of these things, sir?
No.
All right, factual basis and recommendation, please.
Yes, Your Honor. For the case ending in 05209, on January 30th of 2021, an officer was dispatched to in Forest Park, Georgia, where the incident occurred in Clayton County. I believe it was a Church's Chicken. It's in reference to a vandalism call. The officer met with the victim, who advised that his brother, Dewan Hayward, the defendant, had broken the windshield of his Chevy Malibu. They had gotten into a verbal altercation, and then as he got in the car to leave, the defendant took off his shirt and punched the driver's side window. And he was taken into custody. The state is recommending 12 months to serve 3 days, credit for the time that he has already served, the balance to be probated, an anger management course, a $300 fine. I'm sorry, 12 months to serve 20 days. The balance to be probated, anger management, restitution to, let me see if we got a number here. No restitution, I'm sorry, no restitution. But a do not return to the location, and that is the churches located at Forest Park, Georgia. And no violent or harassing contact with
All right. Okay, you can continue with the next one.
yes, Your Honor. And I do believe that the victim on this case is president would like to be heard as well.
Okay.
Okay. So on August the 16th of 2022, an officer was dispatched to Forest Park, Georgia, where the incident occurred in Clayton County. Again, it was the Church's Chicken. It was in reference to a disturbance. At that time, the officer met with the victim in this case, Mr. Who advised that the defendant had pointed a gun at him and punched him in his face. The officer did speak with a few witnesses on the scene who advised they observed the defendant point a gun at the victim. Okay, no, and he was taken into custody. The state is recommending 12 months to serve for count one, 12 months to serve 30 days, the balance to be probated. And it may run concurrent with the case ending in 05209, a $500 fine or 50 hours of community service and no contact with Mr. Count two would merge. Count three would be a 12 months to serve 60 days, the balance to be probated to run concurrent with count one, a gun safety course, an additional $500 or 50 hours of community service, and he'd have to forfeit the weapon. And of course, no contact with the victim.
All right, Mr. Hardy, may I hear from you, sir? If you'll raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true.
I do.
All right, go ahead, sir.
Well, first, I'm the pastor of Kingdom Transformation Ministries in Atlanta, Georgia. We go feed the homeless every Tuesday night, and we go to the same Church's Chicken. My church was located in Forest Park at the time. This particular night, we went and we ordered, I think it was 30 boxes of chicken. And as I was waiting for them to finish preparing the boxes of chicken, Mr. Hambrick was just on a tirade. He was behind the counter. He was cursing at people, and he was just walking back and forth through the restaurant. And one of the it was three or four people be on my side of the counter, on the customer side of the counter. They started looking at how he was acting, and they said that they were leaving and they were going to Long John Silver's or somewhere else. At that time, one of the assistant manager walked past me, and I told her that I said, "You're losing customers." At that time, I know his name as Mr. Hambrick now. He walked over to the counter and he put his finger on my nose and started punching my nose like this and said, "I would F you up," and telling me what he'll do to me. At that time, I told him I'd get his hand out my face. I said, "No, you're not going to do anything to me." He turned around and he went in the back room, and he came out the side entrance with a Tech 9. At that time, I threw my hands up in the air and I told him, I said, "Do what you got to do." He walked up to me with the Tech 9, and my wife started beating on the window. She was outside of the restaurant. "Don't shoot my husband. Don't shoot my husband." And he turned around and he went back in the side entrance. He went back behind the counter. That time, I guess he put the gun away. He came at me again. The second time he came at me, I told him, I said, "Well, you got a gun. We don't have anything to do." When I looked up, he came out of the entrance where they take the trash, where they take the garbage out, and he's standing beside my car. My wife had came in to get me out, so we're waiting for the other 30 boxes of chicken. When I come out, Mr. Hambrick throws a punch at me. As he throws a punch at me, we exchange a few blows. We not connecting. Then I connected with Mr. Hambrick. I knocked him down. I walked off. I left. I got in my car. My wife went in to get the chicken. Meanwhile, Mr. Hambrick, he's just furious. The manager's trying to hold him. He runs over to my car. My window's down and my sunroof is open. He reaches into the car and he knocks my teeth out, busts my lip, tucked my head, and was banging my head against the side of the car. He damaged my neck. I've had 2 procedures done on my neck, because of that. All kind of headaches I'm still having right now. So I finally was able to put the car in gear and drive off, and then I called the police and we came back to the scene.
All right. Well, I am so sorry that happened to you. That's traumatic. Mr. White, did you have anything on behalf of on behalf of Mr. Hambrick?
No, Your Honor. We just ask that you accept the negotiated plea.
How does Mr. Hambrick keep ending up at this Church's Chicken? Church's Chickens are hard to find now. I haven't seen one in a while, and he's ending up at the same one for 2 separate incidents.
He's an employee there.
Okay. All right. Mr. Hambrick, you got issues, sir. You got some anger management. I want to fight issues. What's going on?
Well, the incident with my brother, he came to my job while I was working. He put his hands on me, just like Jesse, he put his hands on me first. So that's all I have to say. I just wish you accept my plea and I can go, because I don't want to.
So you saying a minister who comes and buys chicken for the homeless roughed you up at your job first?
I did. Yes, when he kept saying my name, because when he say I was loud because that manager that he deals with was stealing money from employees, as in I could go to work and clock in. This manager would take my time and put it on her husband's time, her kids' time. She was stealing from customers. She was taking other folks' money and clock in time to do that. And Jesse know what I was arguing about. So he gonna tell me, I don't think you want to do that, Mr. Hambrick. So you want me to sit up and let the lady keep stealing my time? And then she working up under her mama name, and she get a check every month from the state, $2,500.
Okay, so Mr. Hambrick, all of that, none of that, all of that you might have been justified in complaining about, but you should have been complaining about to management for Church's Chicken, not to Mr.
No,
Mr. Hardy.
I never said anything to him, Judge, not one word.
I got you.
Never said anything.
Your honor, I wasn't even complaining to him. I was telling her.
All right, but Mr. Hambrick, you have some options. If you're not being paid right on the job you at, then you need to complain. There are state agencies that will manage wage and hour. You need to complain to them if you're not getting some traction from the management at your company. But to keep having incidents at your job, it's just not a good thing. Plus, sir, anybody who pulls a gun should be ready to use that gun at the time that they pull it. I'm not one of these people who's anti-gun. I'm one of these people who's responsible gun ownership and use. And that was irresponsible. Where would you be right now if that gun had gone off and something had happened to Mr. Hardy? Where would you be?
I have no, I don't know.
You'd be headed to prison.
Yeah.
So, and Mr. Hardy's family would be in grief. Stop pulling a gun that you didn't even intend to use to threaten somebody when the consequences are so great if something were to happen and that gun went off. That's irresponsible. You do not need to have a gun if you can't be a responsible person with a gun. Now, Georgia got all these open carry and everybody can have a gun. But what they don't understand is when they make these laws is everybody doesn't have the common sense and the training it takes to handle a gun so that no one else is injured unnecessarily.
Yes, I understand.
But you back there walking around with a gun like it's a toy. No, sir. Any number of people could have been injured that night because of your recklessness.
Yes.
And while you fighting about them dollars that you feel like you've been cheated out of, you could have cheated somebody out of their whole life.
Yeah, you're right, Your Honor.
You walking around brandishing a gun, something happens in that situation, and the police have to respond. You might not have walked out of there alive.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
I know I'm right. I've seen this too many times. So you're gonna forfeit that gun. So on the first case in 05209 criminal trespass, I'm gonna accept your plea of guilty. I'll sentence you to 12 months to serve 20 days. Credit for time served. The balance will be probated for you to take an anger management class, and you're to not go back to the Church's Chicken at Forest Park, Georgia, Clayton County. You're to have no violent or harassing contact with on the case 2023 CR 10792. That will run concurrent with the sentence in 2023 CR 05209. You're entering a plea of guilty to counts 1 and 3. On count 1, 12 months to serve 30 days. Balance will be probated for you to pay a fine in the amount of $500, which will be $737.50 with the surcharges, or to do 50 hours of community service. You're to have no contact with Mr. Jeff. You're not to go back to the Church's Chicken at in Forest Park, Georgia. Count 2 will merge with count 1. Count 3, 12 months to serve 60 days. Balance will be probated for you to take a gun safety course and for you to do an additional $500, that's $737.50, or 50 hours of community service, and you're to forfeit the gun that was used in this crime. That will run concurrent. Count 3 will run concurrent. Count 1 will run concurrent with count 3.
So,
All right. So how long has he been in, Mr. White?
Your Honor, my understanding, he's been in 10 days, so he still has quite a bit of time left.
Yeah. So you're going to spend that time. Mr. Hambrick, I need you to start thinking about your life. How old are you, sir?
41, ma'am.
How?
41.
You need to get it together. Your 40s is the best time in life. I have a lot of fun in my 40s. So you need to get it together, and figure out what it is you want to do with your life, because all of this foolishness with the gun and running around back and forth, if you are upset about how your manager is working, there are avenues that you have to complain and make sure that you are heard and that you get things done properly. But just running around loose, waving a gun in the air, this ain't the Wild West.
Yes, ma'am.
We're losing too many people to random gun violence because people don't have a clue what they're doing. All right, you can go back with the sheriff's office. The probation expert is going to come speak with you in a little bit.
Okay, thank you.
All righty.